Hello and welcome to today's Yogalates for inner thigh strength. This is a really nourishing but also gentle class that helps us cultivate an awareness for our muscles all around the body with a particular emphasis around the lower limbs. So when you're ready, let's get started. Turning to face the short edge of your mat, we'll begin to lie down. Rolling down one vertebra at a time, engaging the core to protect the lower back. Offering yourself a moment to feel the connection between the body and the earth. Beginning to notice the breath. Inhale, draw the knees to the chest. You might like to interlace your fingers around the shins. Mindfully sway the hips side to side, massaging the lower back, softening the shoulders, and either staying with this movement or perhaps circling the knees in one direction, releasing any tension around the hips, and returning the soles of the feet to the earth. Keeping the right leg bent, we'll extend the left leg, point the toes, and begin to raise and lower that leg. Raising the left leg so that both knees are aligned, and lowering the leg to just above the mat. The hips are squared in this position. Both knees are facing skywards. Feel as though that left leg is growing longer. Engaging the core here, so noticing if the rib cage begins to puff up. And if so, seeing if you can soften. Keep the leg up and hold. Breathe, point those toes a little more. Exhale, release, beautiful work. Rebend the left knee, and this time we'll begin to raise and lower the right leg. This is a great posture to mindfully activate the muscles of the inner thighs, as well as the lower abdomen. Knowing that you can always speed up or slow down the movement. Feeling the activation of the hip flexors. And this time we'll keep our leg up and hold. Breathe. Mindfully contract all of the muscles of this leg to help you find length. Exhale, release. Beautiful work. From here, extending both legs, pointing the toes, joining the thighs together, stretching the body. Extending the arms the length of the torso, keeping the right leg straight. Inhale, bend the left knee, guide the left foot towards the inner seam of the right knee. Open the hip out to the side, external rotation. Close the hip, raise the knee skywards. Extend the leg and lower with control. Let's try this a little faster. Inhale, bend, open, close, extend. Exhale, lower, bend, to the side, close, extend, and lower a few more times. Doing your best to keep that right hip connected to the earth, so noticing if that glute is wanting to lift up off the mat. And if so, perhaps don't open the left knee as far out to the side. Know that you can always modify this posture. This is a beautiful way to warm up the hamstrings as well as creating space in and around the hips. Allow the breath to guide you. Reconnect with your inner harmony. Great job. Let's prepare to take this on the other side. Take one mindful breath here. And on your inhale, mindfully drawing the right toes towards the inner seam of the left knee. Open the knee out to the side. Close the hip. Extend the legs skywards and lower with control. Bend, open, close, lift and lower, and again. Trying to be aware of each integral part of this movement, creating fluidity between the transitions. Keeping the toes of the left foot pointed. Both legs are engaged. Two more rounds on this side. Great work. Maybe the legs are feeling a little longer, noticing any sensations that might have arisen. No judgment. From here, bending both knees, returning the soles of the feet to the earth, extending the left leg skywards, point the toes, and we'll begin to mindfully open the leg out to the side, and using inner thigh strength, we'll begin to close that leg. Open to the side and return the foot to above hip height. Again, we want to keep the pelvis stable, so only opening that leg as far as you can without compromising your form. Keeping the abdomen engaged here. The right kneecap is facing skywards. And this time we'll begin to create circles with the left leg in one direction, keeping the toes pointed, feeling a beautiful stretch for the front of the ankle, strengthening the arch of the foot as well as the inner thighs. Making these circles as small or as large as you would like, and swapping the direction of the circles. Final few. Last circle. Beautiful work. Return the left leg to the earth. Return the foot to the mat, and this time we'll raise our right leg skywards, pointing the toes and beginning to open and close that right hip. Opening the leg out to the side and returning the foot to above hip height. Oftentimes, the slower that we move through these postures, the greater capacity we have to engage the muscles to become aware of what is actually going on in the body and in the mind. Last two. And beginning to create circles with the right leg. Lubricating the hip joint, moving in one direction. And reversing the direction. Final circle. Returning the right foot to the earth, extending both legs, stretching the arms overhead, lengthening the body. Returning the soles of the feet to the earth, we'll press up into a bridge pose, raising the pelvis, the lower back, the mid-back, squeezing the glutes and the inner thighs at the top. Exhale, lower down one vertebra at a time. Inhale, press into the heels, raise the pelvis, lift up. Mindfully lower down. We'll perform these exercises a little faster, beginning to raise and lower the pelvis. Moving at a rhythm where you can maintain engagement, where you can maintain awareness. You might like to extend the arms skywards, palms facing towards one another. Noticing what's going on in the upper body. Noticing what's going on around the face. Great work, knees to chest. Release any tension that might have built up around the lower back. And this time we will join our feet together so that the ankles, the calves and the knees are touching. Inner thighs are touching, and we'll begin to lift and lower the pelvis, coming up into a bridge. You might notice that with this variation of bridge, the pelvis doesn't raise as high, and know that that is okay. The intention here is to really scissor the inner thighs together, to turn on the adductors, to help us cultivate a state of equilibrium in the body. Reconnecting to the breath. A few more. And this time keep the hips elevated, and we'll begin to open the knees out to the side and close the knees and the inner thighs together. The feet are together, seeing if you can raise the pelvis a little higher. I know your inner thighs are feeling it. It is okay. Breathe through it. Remind yourself of your inner strength. This is our final bit of work. Stay strong. Last two. Beautiful work. Lower the back down and we'll come into a supine butterfly pose, Supta Baddha. Soles of the feet are touching, knees splay wide. Relax the glutes, relax the inner thighs. And you might like to place one palm on the belly, the other on the heart space. Reconnecting to the breath. On your next inhale, closing the knees, drawing the knees to the chest, and we'll come into happy baby, using your index finger, the middle finger, and the thumb to grab a hold of the big toes. You might like to extend one leg at a time to stretch the hamstrings, otherwise keeping the knees bent and guiding the knees towards the armpits. Maybe extending both legs at the same time. Feeling a beautiful release for the inner thighs here, keeping the lower back in contact with the earth. And gently draw the knees to the chest, rock up into a seated position, and we'll come into child's pose, sinking the hips back towards the heels, lengthening the back body, allowing yourself to soften. feeling yourself become supple. I invite you to stay in child's pose for as long as you like. And when you're ready, coming up into a seated position, joining the palms together at heart center, thanking yourself for showing up here today. May you be well. Namaste.